divine order is God called us to be in relationship, human beings to be in relationship with nature and relationship with Him. Your life automatically is set up in relationship. In order for you to have children, you have to have a relationship. The sperm has to have a relationship with the egg. Parents' relationship with their children. Welcome to Heart Healer TV. I'm Shatrice. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you found your way. If you are returning, then I'm so glad that you came back to share in this community where we do what? We are rebuilding our lives. We're killing the uns. What does that mean? That means we're stepping away from being unfulfilled in this life. It's too short for you to be unfulfilled. We are stepping away from being undesirable to ourselves. That's so important. From being unheard and unfulfilled. God has called us to a beautiful life, a beautiful existence, and we're going to tap into it together here. Let me connect with you guys, let you know what I got going on. So I decided at the top of the year that I'm going to begin with a fast. And originally I said I wouldn't include not fasting from food. That's something that I've done over the years. It's been fine. I didn't feel called, like meaning God wasn't convicting my heart to not fast from food. So my goal was to wake up in the morning, say my prayers, and read my word. I want to get stronger in the word. Why? Because there's so many things happening in the earth and information coming in from all everywhere. Our phones, our interactions, our energy, our bodies are just receiving information on a daily basis. And I wanted to make sure that my body is fortified with the word. So when other information comes in and it's not what I believe, it's not what I know, then it can fight for itself. Okay? That's important. But then, after a few days, everything that I was reading, the information that I was hearing, it all kept saying the same thing: fast from food. And I understand the importance of fasting from food. Just on the health benefit side, I know that it restarts the body. The body will go after and kill all bad cells, re-energize the body. I know those things. On the spiritual side, when we push away our plate, it makes us humble, closer to nature, closer to God. It gets rid of a lot of the noise. And we're able to hear our God talk to us and speak specifically to the things that we are supposed to do in this life, for the day, even for the hour, in the moment. So I know that God was calling me to a fast from food to help me clear my mind, to give me real-time revelation, right? To get rid of some of the noise that was happening around me. And on a health tip, I know that he was calling me to a fast because I started eating things that I have not eaten in decades, and my body needed a cleanse. It needed to get rid of all that gunk, get back to what I know to be true, which is healthy, clean, alkaline eating. That's where we're at. And if you guys, this shouldn't even really be a conversation at this point because we know that the food is fake and full of GMO. Okay, so let's move on. So I've been doing that. Today's the 31st, and I don't really count the days. I know that my fast ends like February 12th or the 15th, something like that. I set an alarm on my phone, and I'm going to fast until that alarm goes off. So from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., I don't eat anything. If I need to consume something, then I will consume tea or water or fruit. I did eat like a bag of grapes, seeded grapes. Today, I've decided that I'm going to begin juicing my fruit. I'm not going to eat the fruit anymore, and it will only be grapes. So I've already juiced my grapes, my seeded grapes, with spring water, room temperature spring water, and I had consumed a lot of it. Maybe about 3-4 cups. It is so good. I squeezed a little key lime in there, just a little. Oh my goodness, it's really good. You guys should try it. Anyway, that is the start of my day so far. 2025, we know that we have to be consistent in the things that we want to do because we are killing the ones in our life. We want to come up with a game plan for how we're going to manage ourselves both in the spirit and both in the natural. So in the spirit, I have made a declaration for myself that I want to pray more. I want to read my Bible more. I'm going to fill up my inner man with the word of God. This helps me combat all the extra foolishness that I'm hearing, that I'm seeing. Okay. I don't want to be overwhelmed in this world, and it's quite easy for that to happen. On the natural side, I want to consume good food, even if it costs 3-4 times more than the GMO food or the unseeded fruit. I have already made a declaration. I'm going to pay for it and I'm going to consume it. That's it. I'm going to find the local watermelon guy in my area. Sells watermelon in season, not all through the year, because we know they don't make watermelon all through the year. That's just unnatural. Okay, tomatoes are not grown all through the year. Cucumbers are not grown all through the year. I want to purchase my food from farmhouses and from direct farmers that are or producing fruit in season. That's my personal goal. Doesn't have to be yours. You can start with your local grocer, buying more fruit than you do, whatever you think is causing you to be sluggish in your mind and in your body. Okay. Now, on a physical side, physicality to me, physical capabilities means information to me. And so, for example, I want to put out content, and I don't just want to put out content, I want to put out great content. So, what do? I consume information from those who are successfully doing what I want, what I desire to be. I am going to fill my time listening and watching and writing down golden nuggets so that way I can then implement them in my life little by little by little by little. It's important that I do it on a small scale. Why? Because things take time to become my normal. I'm trying to change a behavior. I'm trying to change my normal, create a new normal, create a new set of actions that I will live by. And how do I do that? I do that in small increments. So I am going to listen to the information, maybe through books, podcasts. Okay. I'm going to listen to the information and then I'm going to apply it in small doses. What's the next part? Financial debt is a major stressor to the body, and knowing your money, your debt to income ratio is important. A lot of the headache that you're feeling, a lot of the inability to go toward the new thing, the idea, the product, the innovation, the resourcefulness that's going to bring to you the fulfillment. A lot of it, a large portion of it, is because you're too worried about the money. So, how could your life change if you take the time to sit down and look at your money? Now, for those of you who are saying like, "Oh well, I don't make any money. I make $13 an hour. I make $10 an hour. I make $20 an hour. I make $25 an hour. My bills are too high," and things like that. Remember, we talked about doing things on a small increment. I'll use myself as an example. When I wanted to get into stocks, it was overwhelming for me, and I did not want to consume the information because I had already been consuming so much. My brain was tired, and I needed to get a shortcut in. I started listening to a podcast, and this particular gentleman, he gave like real time information. And so he can say something right then on the live feed, and then I would go and do it by myself. So, for example, let's say he say, buy 1,000 shares of NVIDIA. Go buy 1,000 shares of NVIDIA. Now, I go to my app and I say, all right, I'm going to buy 1,000 shares. I go to click in 1,000 shares and it comes up to some astronomical number I cannot afford at the moment. But what do? I don't just come out of the app and say, well, I'm not going to get any shares. No, I'm going to buy what I can afford. So if I have an extra $20, I'm going to pay the $20. I'm going to put in my $20 to get whatever fraction of the fraction of the fraction of the share that I can get. And I'm going to keep doing that, because you know what happens? Eventually, I'm not going to be afraid to invest my money into the stock market. I would have built up time investing incrementally, small amounts, seeing how the market is rising, seeing how it falls, getting my body adjusted to, if the market drops for the day, don't panic, you're fine. Even finding what my balance is. I'm okay to invest this much money, maybe $100. I'm okay to invest $100, and I'm also okay to lose the $100 should everything bottom out. All those things take time to get used to. All right, so I will buy now a full share, a few shares of something, of a crypto or of a stock, and I don't have that same apprehension that I did before. $5 here, $10 there, turns into a $50 here, a $500 there, $1,000 there. It builds up over time. That's what you want to do. You want to build up over time. Okay. Let's talk about something else. Insurance. We're still in our financial bucket. So insurance is. It's important to have some life insurance to leave for your children, leave for those who you love, so that way they don't have to have the hard start that you once had. Okay. And so how can I do that? Maybe you saying, I don't have an extra $200 for insurance right now. Okay, but you have an extra $20. You have an extra $5. You have an extra $30 every month. I know this because you buy things that you really don't need every single month. Coffees, teas, eating out, dates, dresses, shoes. Don't even get me started with the women. Okay, there's so much that we spend money toward every single month. Uber Eats is at least $30 every time you hit place order. I know for a fact because I hit place order a lot. Okay, all of those things. Now, just imagine if you sacrifice just 1 month's worth of Uber Eats. So instead of eating out 4 times a month, or instead of hitting a place order 4 times a month, you only do it 3. And get yourself some insurance. Now, I don't advise getting term insurance, but that's something totally different. And that's just because I'm thinking of like investment. I'm thinking of when you're in a crunch and you need an emergency dollar. Term life insurance doesn't do anything for you at all. But whole life does. That's another conversation. All right. So all of these things matter. All right. We want to be able to identify the areas of our life that do not meet our desirability factors, our freedom factors, our fulfilled factors. We want to make sure that we are designing our lives so that way we can hit the mark in those areas. Fulfillment, desirability, being heard, and alignment. So let's talk about each one of those. When we're saying that we want to kill the uns in our life, and we are not happy with where we are as far as fulfillment, there is a manner in which you can live life just doing to get. You're doing something to get something. So I'm just going to this job so I can get some money. There's that life. And then there's the other manner in which you can be something to someone else. And in being something to someone else, you automatically receive. There's so much fulfillment. Each time that I show up in being, I automatically am receiving good back to me. I receive, well, let's say good credit. I receive good credit back to myself. It's paid forward. It's paid forward to them and it's paid forward to me. When I just do things in order to receive, my intention is only just to get. My life cannot thrive in fulfillment. And why? Because it's one sided. I'm only doing so I can get. Whereas divine order is God called us to be in relationship, human beings to be in relationship with nature and relationship with Him. Your life automatically is set up in relationship. In order for you to have children, you have to have a relationship. The sperm has to have a relationship with the egg. Parents' relationship with their children. You relationship with whatever you desire to be. You have to have a relationship. That's how you pay it forward. All right. So when it comes to fulfillment, I want to be the answer to the person I'm trying to be in service of. Or what's another way to say? I want to make sure that my life is an example for whomever I'm trying to be in service to. Look at your life and assess how you are showing up. I want to be desirable to myself. What does that mean? Desirability to oneself is extremely important. If you don't feel desirable to yourself, it will hinder you from networking, from revamping, rebranding. It will hinder you from your vision. It will limit your capabilities and even how you see yourself in the world. You will eventually believe that you have nothing to offer, that there's nothing more to give. And you will start reflecting more so on your past rather than planning a future. Desirability is quintessential to one's future life. I want to make sure that when I show up, that my outer presentation matches what I've built in my mind. I want to make sure that my inner presentation is always aligned with what God says about me and what I believe because of His Word. I want my confidence to be built on the things that God says, which is the reason why you need the Word. I cannot build my confidence on my outer appearance, clothes, and material things, and all that. I cannot do those things. Why? Because they mean nothing. If we haven't learned anything, it's that material possessions mean nothing. They do not bring fulfillment. Yes, money is a useful tool, and I'm not saying, don't get it. No, 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 go get it. Go get it. Okay? Go get it. I'm just saying you cannot put your faith in it. You cannot build your confidence on it. Because today you may have, tomorrow you may not have. Tomorrow when you don't have, are you nothing again? No, you are always what God says you are. And that's why your confidence has to be in Him. Another reason why you need to build your confidence in God is because everything that happens to you that is not favorable or to your liking is not necessarily from like some evil demonic spirit. A lot of the trial and testing that you go through is to build you up and fortify you for whatever it is you've been praying for, incessantly petitioning God for. It's important that you know how to handle it on a small scale, right? You got to handle what you're asking for on a small scale. So that way, when you do get it on a larger scale, you can manage well. You can steward the thing that you're asking for well. Another reason sometimes why the things that you ask for are delayed to you is because who you be is not ready to manage the thing. There's traumas that are going on inside of you. There are hurts and anger and confusion about who you be. And so when you're confused about who you be now and you go to present that to someone else, it's like they can tell you don't know who you be. So how you be trying to give me information? So we don't want to do that. God, He cleans us up and He presses us and He confronts us in the quiet, dark places nobody can see. So that way you are protected, your reputation, your character, while He's stripping you. And then when it's time for you to come to the light, to come to the forefront, when it's time, everything who you be is ready to be seen. And that's His grace. That's His mercy. All right. So my desirability factor is important. I want my confidence built in Christ, and He made me, and so I want to make sure that my skin is glowing, which it is, okay, and that my body is fit, and that I look nice. And when I look nice, I feel nice, and when I feel nice, I do well, and all that's important. It's all a part of who I am and who He's designed me to be. All of it. All of it. Okay. Now let's keep going on. That feeling unheard is important because if you're unheard, you can feel unheard in a few places. You can feel unheard to yourself, meaning that you don't even trust the decisions that you're making. You don't trust yourself that you're hearing correctly. You do not trust to plan your life. You do not trust there is something more for you, that your voice means something, that you matter and what you have to say matters. It's like you don't believe that you have a place. You can combat feeling unheard in a few ways. Number one, you can keep the promises that you make to yourself. When I say I'm going to show up and drop a podcast episode every week, and I actually get up and do it, I am feeling heard. First, I'm feeling heard to my inner self, right? Because I had a thought, I had an idea. Oh, I'm going to start this podcast and I want to talk about believing from trauma, confident. We are better than how we've been behaving. I want to interview people. I want my podcast to grow and be a staple in the world. Now, that's just an idea, it's just a thought. Now, every time I don't do it, my behavior is not rising to the level of my divine self. I am not listening. I am not moving on what I'm hearing. So I feel unheard to myself when I am not moving in alignment with what my intuition is telling me, right? What my gut, how my gut is like trying to direct me. I'm not listening and acting on. So that's outside. Now, that's inside. Now, if I am feeling unheard inside because I don't keep the promises that I make to myself, then there's no way that I can expect that when I am speaking outwardly, like to you, to someone who I meet, to a coworker, there's no way that I can expect them to hear me. There's no way. Whoever I am, however I am, my energy reads it. My energy blasts it way before I get there. My energy leaves clues as to who I am and what I am about way before I get there. And so I can play act like I am a confident person, but my energy will tell you that no, she struggles. She is not confident. She does not believe the things that he is not confident. He does not move like a king in the earth. He is moving like a clown. My energy would already expose me. So I first will change the conversation that I'm having with myself inwardly. I'm going to show up for what I say I'm going to do. I'm going to show up for the thoughts that I'm having in my mind. Even if I show up and I say, you know what, yes, that was the idea, but I'm going to tweak it here because this is not natural to me. I don't like this part. I'm still showing up toward the version of who I want to be. And I can do this at any age. All right. Once I conquer that portion, being who I say I'm going to be, I hear it, and then I actually do it. The more that I do it, I am moving toward meeting my divine self. My goodness, that imagery goes crazy. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm excitable anyway. Alignment sounds like fulfillment, but alignment and fulfillment are different. Alignment will bring you to fulfillment. Okay? What are you aligned with? Now, my gauge for alignment is simple. Did God tell me to do it? Obedience. That's it. Did God tell me to do it? If He didn't tell me to do it, and it's something that I just want to do, then I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna stay praying about it until I get some form of an answer either way, and then I'm just gonna move in it. Now I'm gonna know if I'm in alignment based on what happens before, during, and after. If I'm having conflict in my heart about it, then I'm out of alignment automatically. If I'm starting to question myself about it over and over, incessantly mulling over it in my mind, overthinking the whole thing, I'm out of alignment. That's the pattern for my life. If I am not really overthinking it, but maybe it's in vanity, maybe whatever it is I'm asking God for is based on some vanity or something of that nature, then I have to put it up. I'm gonna put it up against the word. I need to understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and am I perceiving the situation incorrectly? What are my thoughts and my beliefs around whatever it is I'm deciding I'm going to do? And I'm gonna put that up to God. I'm gonna place that at His feet, and I expect for Him to give me an answer, which He always does. He never leaves me without an answer. So I'm gonna put it up to God, and then I make the decision based on what He's revealed to me. All right. Another way that you can gauge alignment is obedience. What did He tell you to do? If you're out of alignment, it's because you didn't do what He told you to do. It's very simple. Try doing what He told you to do and see if you gain peace from doing what He has told you to do. Quite simple. That is basically how you can gauge if you are in alignment and how to get back into alignment. Be obedient. When you mess up, bring it before God. Examine why you did it. Like, what's the real reason that your heart led you this way? What's the emotion behind it? Is it because you're feeling unheard and unfulfilled in your life? You're feeling undesirable to yourself? And so you just decide to just, self-sabotage your way through. What is happening to you that's causing you to make some of the decisions that you're making? Make sure that we are crystal clear on where we are spiritually and in the natural, and flesh out a plan. I truly enjoyed speaking with you, and I'll see you next week.